Hey there, this is Mr. Icarus, and welcome to yet another edition of Doom Mod Madness. This time around, we are checking out a gameplay mod by the name of Hideous Destructor. This is actually a mod that I've been meaning to cover for a good long while here on Doom Mod Madness, but there's just one significant thing that's been getting in the way of that, and that is the fact that I really do not enjoy playing this mod. Not at all. Now, this isn't a simple case of Hideous Destructor just being a poorly made mod. In fact, it's the opposite. It's a very well-made mod. It achieves what it sets out to do with a degree of effectiveness that is downright impressive. It's just that what it wants to achieve is a gameplay style that I can only describe as painful. So what exactly does Hideous Destructor bring to the table? Well, for starters, it slows everything way down. Doom Guy no longer moves at a speed that would put Olympic athletes to shame, and instead moves at something approaching a more realistic pace. Also, you're not going to be very good at aiming while you're moving. If you want to stand a chance of hitting enemies at a distance, you need to be either moving extremely slow or be at a standstill. Another thing you'll discover in Hideous Destructor is the fact that enemies are a hell of a lot more lethal. For example, right here, I got nailed with one shot by a zombie man, probably hit me in the head, insta-kill. I was at 100 health. And it's with situations like these that you'll suddenly discover that remaining behind cover is something that will frequently save your bacon. Now, fortunately, a headshot such as that seems to be an extremely rare occurrence here. In fact, I can only ever recall it happening that one time, but taking projectiles from any enemy in any quantity is something that is extremely ill-advised. Bullets, in particular, will quite often cause you to bleed, and the bleed mechanic here is something that really does cause you to think a lot more methodically about the progress you're going to be making through any given area. Take a few bullets, your life may start depleting, such as it is right now, and you may not always notice it at first until Doomguy's face starts progressively getting covered in blood. By that point, you're probably going to panic, try and find a corner, and then have to switch to your bandages. You got to then look down and hold fire until it's patched up and you're ready to go. Unluckily for me, though, enemies don't wait. By this point, you can probably understand why I don't particularly enjoy playing Hideous Destructor. With the mechanics that we've explored so far, every room that you enter, every corridor you dare make your way down, every street you even think about crossing becomes a high-stakes survival situation. Persist in Hideous Destructor long enough, however, and you'll soon fall into a few useful life-prolonging habits, such as never, ever trusting a corner. If you run around a corner without painstakingly peeking around it first, that's just an invitation to some rapid lead poisoning. Another useful technique you'll soon come to rely on is being able to crouch. Not only will it help you steady your aim, but in my experience, it also seems to make you into a harder target for enemies to hit. So if you do find yourself in an awkward open position, crouching will sometimes buy you a little bit of extra time while you fire back. In essence, Hideous Destructor feels like an extremely singular fuck you to the concept of instant gratification. Just getting anywhere in any map that you choose to play with this is an ordeal. And it's further compounded by the fact that the mechanics I've talked about so far are just the broad, obvious mechanics of Hideous Destructor. There's a whole bunch of other little bits and pieces that contribute to the whole here. For example, did you know that if you bandage up a wound and spring back into action a little too quickly, you actually run the risk of reopening that wound, forcing you to bandage it up all over again? That's a thing. Did you know that if you feel like closing a little bit of distance faster than normal and you hold down run for a little too long, Doomguy actually suffers the equivalent of a mild heart attack here, losing health in the process? Did you know that if you try to use a large med pack in Hideous Destructor, you have to take off your goddamn armor in order to use it? Oh my god! If you feel the need to spice things up ever so slightly, Hideous Destructor actually offers a pretty generous variety of loadouts, 17 if I've counted correctly. For the most part, I've been playing as Rifleman, the closest thing I can assume to be default loadout here in Hideous Destructor, but if you choose Specialist, you'll get something like a big fat lovely plasma gun to start off your adventures. Does this make the gameplay any easier to deal with? Not especially, but it certainly makes it more interesting. Fun fact, I still have absolutely no idea how the big energy discharge I just pulled off there actually works. I assume it's something to do with double-clicking the primary fire, but it feels a little 50-50 whether it'll actually activate, whether you have to build something up beforehand, but all I know is you need to stand well back. It's got a high chance of melting your face off, much like the imp fireballs. Holy shit! Oh god, I got hit again. Why does this keep happening? I keep getting hit by imp fireballs, and they are the most lethal goddamn thing. You just never stop burning. Is there a way to stop it? I don't know. Can you stop, drop, and roll? I don't think there's a function for that. You just keep burning to death. Best day ever. Best friggin' day ever. So as nice as loadouts are for experimentation, it really all comes down to how well you can combat the ever-increasing wall of bullshit that Hideous Destructor throws at you. You get hit by a fireball, you're gonna start burning, it's gonna make your aim shake, it's gonna make it hard for you to fight back, and death. And death. That seems to be how most things follow in Hideous Destructor. Oh, I picked a new loadout that gives me access to a sniper rifle. And death. Oh, look, I've got a plasma gun that makes a big fat discharge thing. It's pretty cool. And death. You just know how it's gonna end every time. And my gun's jammed. Fuck you. And yeah, look at this. Look at this. Wonderful. Wonderful. Burn me to death again. So, would I recommend Hideous Destructor? Depends. Do you like the feeling of utter helplessness? Do you like experiencing blinding rage on a fairly frequent basis? Do you enjoy the frustration of trying to pick up items and reloading weapons, and if you don't do it correctly, it'll screw up and probably cause your death? Do you enjoy the feeling of being frustrated? If the answers to these questions are yes, then you need help. You seriously need help. The person who created Hideous Destructor created it to hurt you. To hurt me. To hurt anyone who plays it. It is a painful mod to play, and on that front it is a complete and total success. It sets out to be all of these things. To be awkward. To be just unforgiving as hell, to punish the shit out of you if you don't play by its extremely strict rules. And I hate it. I hate playing it. I don't want to play it anymore. I understand the experience it's trying to bring to Doom, and I am not the audience for it. But some of you out there might be. There's certainly some kernel of satisfaction to be gleaned from successfully getting through a section of level there, I won't deny it that, and some of the loadouts here are admirably goofy to try out. I've only skimmed these, but there's one in here called Naturist, and you start with absolutely nothing. You're pretty much naked. Hideous Destructor knows exactly what it is. It knows exactly what it wants to be. It is unforgiving, it is hellish, it is an experience I don't really feel like repeating anytime soon, and if you're interested, the link, as usual, is in the description below. While I'm at it, I'd like to say a great big thank you to my wonderful patrons over on Patreon. Thank you so very much for your contributions, for helping to support this channel and make content like this possible, even if I'm having a horrible time playing it. And, yeah. If you feel like helping out, the link to my Patreon can be found also in the description below. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. I would have liked it to be a bit more comprehensive, but I'm sure you can understand there's only so much punishment I can take. Feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and feel free to suggest any mods you'd like to see me cover in future episodes of Doom Mod Madness. This has been Mr. Icarus. Thank you very much for watching. Icarus out.